Monhegan Island lies 15 miles out to sea. But the challenge of getting there from the mainland, by private boat or one of the 3 ferry services, only adds to Monhegan's allure.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Captain Ron. I'm going to be your captain this afternoon.
What can we learn from 50 years of conservation at one of Maine's most remote island communities?
Well, I think if anyone wants to know why it matters and why it's worth it, just come out here and take a look. I mean, this is a great working community where conservation is fundamental both to the summer and the winter communities and economies.
Land conservation on Monhegan began in the 1930s when Ted Edison, son of inventor Thomas and frequent visitor to the island, foresaw the day when development pressures would change the character of the place he'd grown to love. He began working with the community to protect the wildness of the island. Over the years, Monhegan Associates has conserved 668 acres, 3/4 of the island.
Everything that you can see right now, everything that you can see, all this coastline is exactly why Ted Edison said, wait a minute, we've got to buy this up and make it a natural preserve, because if we don't, somebody's going to come out here and say, wow, this is really cool, and buy it for a few $1 million and build a 10,000 square foot mansion here and stay off my property.
You just have this enormous part of the island that's just been left to be wild. 17 miles of trails all through it. And it's an interesting sort of coexistence between the village of Monhegan, the fishermen, the shops, and then all of this conservation land that's protected in this land trust.
They come out here because it's a beautiful spot naturally, and also because it's a community that is accessible. I mean, it's a cluster. It's a small little village. I think it's a combination of the natural beauty that luckily has been preserved, and the fact that the community is still thriving.
Sherm Stanley has been living on Monhegan his whole life. He was a friend of Ted Edison's, he's a trustee of Monhegan Associates, and is the elder statesman of the island's fishing fleet.
It is a special place because there is some conservation. Place for them to come, walk, paint, cogitate, read, write. A lot of people come out here just to write.
In addition to that, you have all of the artists that go out there in the studios.
Painters from all over the world come here because of the scenery, and more importantly, because of the light.
Monhegan is also a famous destination for birders who come from all over the world to see more than 200 species that visit during the spring and fall migrations.
Basically the whole back half of the island is protected and it's undeveloped, and there's trails that give you access so you can walk around some of the habitats, but it's all, it's a treed island, and there's really no houses or development back there. And so for all those reasons, there's great natural habitat, natural communities that the birds that are coming through can come in and actually feed on, and still get insects and spruce cones and things like that to feed on to fatten up for their migration south.
But it's not just the birds on Monhegan that are a draw. A few miles beyond lies Eastern Egg Rock, where Project Puffin, one of the most successful seabird recovery programs in the country, has restored colonies of puffins and other species in the Gulf of Maine.
We started in 1994. There were 16 nesting pair out there. As the years have gone on, it went from 16 to 22 nesting pair, and 27 and 33, and then we started to see some big jumps.
Just in the last few years.
55 nesting pair, I think, the following year, and then we had 71 last year and 80 this year. It's an incredible story.
The Hardy boat's been going out there for 20 years or whatever it's been. They've really imprinted on our boat, and here we are. We have this 60-foot big boat that holds 117 people, and we can go out there and the birds really don't care. We're just part of their lifestyle.
Conservation has been good for Hardy Boat Tours, the other ferry operators, and for restaurants, inns, and other businesses that support the booming tourist season. Like many places along Maine's coast, the local economy and the legacy of conservation are deeply intertwined.
There's lots of great birding places in the country, but Monhegan has this added value of you come here and it's such a spectacular place and the coast is so beautiful. So people come from all over to go birding and then they just get hooked and they come back and back year after year.
If the Monhegan Associates hadn't started up, this island would be covered with small cottages every place. And there would be no wildlands, and it would be just another tacky tourist place. As it is, 2/3 of the island is kept in its wild state, and most importantly, it's open to everybody.
People come to Maine because Maine's different, it's unspoiled, and that's what people want. And 50 years from now, people are going to want that, and 100 years from now, they're going to want that.
Sometimes people feel sort of helpless that, there's so many forces that are going towards commercialization or changing the area that they don't think anything can be done. And in fact, it can be done if we're able to do it. Other places can too. And
I think there's a huge opportunity here in Maine for all kinds of different businesses, but the resources have to be there for that to happen.
When conservation groups work closely with communities, they both benefit. It's a chance to shape the future, and you don't have many chances like that.